Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are in good of your health and taking care of yourselves. Today, I'll be commencing the fourth lecture of English literature, and that is the second chapter of Moby Dick. In my previous lecture, we did the summary of the chapter and the meanings of the difficult words of the chapter. In this lecture, we'll be doing the exercises of chapter 2, and you can find these exercises on pages 70 and 71. Question number 1 is read chapter 2 and match the two halves of these sentences. So here the sentences are broken down into two. One half of the sentence is on one side and the other half is on the other side. So you will join these two halves and you will make a single sentence. Next question is complete the summary of chapter 2 using words or short phrases. Okay, before starting this question, let me tell you that you will do the question number 1 in your books, not in your notebooks. And same goes for this question. This question will also be done in your books, not in your notebooks. So the summary is Queequeg suggested that Ishmael should choose Dash for their trip. So what was that Queequeg wanted Ishmael to choose? You will write the name here. Ishmael went to the harbor and after some searching he decided that Dash was suitable for them. So what he decided that what was suitable for them you will write here. He talked to one of the Dash of the ship, Peleg, who warned him against the dangers of whaling trip. So who was Peleg? What was the post or what was the designation of Peleg? You will write that here in blank 3. Peleg also informed him that Captain Ahab had dashed to a whale. So what the whale had done to Captain Ahab you will write here in this blank 4. However, Ishmael was still dashed to join the crew, but Ishmael still wanted to join the crew. So what was that specific word that was used in the chapter you will write here in blank 5. The next day, Queequeg and Ishmael went to the ship and signed the relevant papers. As they were leaving, they dashed a strange man. So what a strange man? You will write here. He told them that Captain Ahab was a dash and dash person. So the two specific words that were used by that particular strange man for Captain Ahab, you will write these words here in these blank 7 and 8. Despite the warning, the two friends boarded the ship on Christmas Day. So you will do this question in your books, not in your notebooks. Next is question number 3, and it is that find the words or phrases in chapter 2 which mean the same as. So the rules for this questions have been discussed in the previous lecture, and if you are not knowing the rules you can refer to that lecture. So first one is white bone that comes from an elephant tusk is called what? You will write here, and the first word is also written for you. It is I, and the word is there on page 12. Second is angry and violent, and what is the other word that is used for these two words? You will write here, and it starts with F. The people who work on ship dash, they are called dash, and the first letter is C. Fourth one is very willing to do something. So what is the word that is used for something that a person wants to do? So you will write it here, and you can also find this word on page 14. Fifth is make something sound very important. You will write the word here. To begin a journey, the word starts with S, and you will write that word, and you can also find this word on page 18. So you will do this question in your books, not in your notebooks. Next is question number 4, that is complete the following sentences using the words in the boxes. So here you are having 6 different words. Okay, we'll discuss the meanings first and then you will attempt the question. First word is deck. Deck is actually the upper part of the ship where anyone can go and have a look around, and enjoy the sea. Ran into is come across something. When you see something or you meet someone you were not expecting to see or you were not expecting to meet, that is ran into. Polish is, all of you must be knowing that it is a substance that is used to clean up the shoes. Negotiate is when, for example, if there is an issue and you want to resolve that issue, for this purpose you will talk with the person which is actually involved in that issue. So you will talk to each other or you will talk to one another and you will discuss the issue and you will try to resolve that issue. So that is called negotiate. Fog, all of you must be knowing that what is fog. Fog is actually a thick cloud which is made up of tiny water droplets. Supplies can be anything, like any material or any item. It can be food item or it can be clothing item, anything. Okay, so here you are having 6 sentences and you will choose the right word and then you will put the word in the blank. First one is, yesterday I dashed an old classmate of mine, he hadn't changed at all. So you will put the suitable word here in the blank. Next is, the dash in our area makes driving conditions really dangerous. Did you dash your shoes? Before we leave on our camping trip, we need to buy all the necessary dash. They tried to dash the price, but the salesman insisted that the car cost $15,000. Next is, he went up to dash to enjoy the view of the island at sunset. This question will also be done in your books. Here comes the discussion question, the question that will orally be done. So again, I've talked about the rules in my previous lecture, but I will recall the rules once again. This is actually the discussion question, so your parents or your elder will ask you these questions and you will answer these questions in your own words. First one is, do you think a person should trust his/her instinct in order to make a decision? So what does this word instinct mean? Instinct is actually, it is a feeling. It is, you can say that it is the inner voice of you. For example, if you are in a fix or you are in a bad condition and you want to make a decision but you are not sure that whether this decision would be right or not, but there is something inside you, but there is a feeling that you are having that this decision might be good for you. So the inner voice is telling you to go for it and do it. So that inner voice or the feeling is called instinct. So the question is, do you think a person should trust his/her instinct in order to make decision? So do you think that a person should trust his/her inner feeling or inner voice to make any decision? Yes or no, you will discuss that. Second is, a man warned Ishmael and Queequeg that Captain Ahab was obsessed with the whale that took his leg. What do you think that means? What does the man say that Ahab's possession has driven him mad? Here is the focal word obsessed, and we discussed this word obsessed in detail in my previous lecture. Obsessed is when something is all the time on your mind, and obsession is that when you are crazy about something. So all of you know that Captain Ahab was obsessed with the whale named Moby Dick. He wanted to take revenge on him. So you will discuss that, and do you think that Ahab obsession has driven him mad or crazy and it was not a good decision to take revenge on Moby Dick? You will discuss that. Next is, Ishmael was not discouraged by Peleg's warning against whaling. If you were in his position, would you give it a second thought? Do you believe it is worth taking risk in life? Okay. So when Ishmael entered into the Pequod, he was told by the Peleg that there is something suspicious and there is something dangerous about the ship and it is not suitable for the trip, for the whaling trip. But besides all this, Ishmael still selected this ship and because he was so curious to go on the whaling trip on this specific ship. So what do you think, that was this decision right or wrong? If you were in his position, what would have you done that there, right? So you will discuss that. And do you think that we should take risk in our life? You will also discuss that. Next is, do you think that the strange man and his warning can be seen as a sign for the Pequod's voyage? So all of you know that a strange man met Queequeg and Ishmael, and they told them that, this ship is not a suitable ship for them. There is something dangerous about this ship. So do you think that there was a sign for them that, Pequod is going to encounter, or Pequod is going to experience something bad in this voyage? You will discuss that. Fifth one is, Ishmael saw 5 dark figures on the deck. Who do you think these people were? Could they be dangerous? So what happened when Ishmael and Queequeg arrived on the Pequod the Christmas morning? They saw these dark figures. They thought that these figures were people. But we discussed that in that chapter, and you must be knowing the answer. You will discuss that. And do you think that these things were dangerous, and these things were actually a sign to Queequeg and Ishmael that they should not continue their journey on this ship or on Pequod? So these questions will be discussed, right? These questions will not be done in your books or notebooks. Next question is written work. You will do these two questions, question number 6 and question number 7, in your notebooks, right? So question number 6 is, imagine that you are Peleg and you need to tell Bildad about Ishmael. How would you describe him? Okay, so in this question you will consider yourself Peleg, who was the co-owner of the ship, and you will tell Bildad, who was the owner of the ship, all about the conversation and all the experiences and whatsoever happened between you and Ishmael. It means between Peleg and Ishmael. You will discuss that, and the word limit is 120 to 140 words. Next question is that you will write the summary of the chapter 2, and we have discussed the summary rules in my previous lectures. You must be knowing by now the rules, but if you are not knowing the rules, you can still refer to the previous lecture and follow the particular rules for the summary writing. Okay, so take care. Thank you.